And here is an important part of the practice of the rescue squad. They are giving this man oxygen.
If you were wondering where my family is from, they're from Erie. And if you were wondering what our slogan is, we love Eerie. And if you were wondering where our fair city is, it's by the lake. And if you were wondering what our famous catchphrase is, we love Eerie.
Tonight, we're opening a page from a city's darkest past. It's a story that feels like it was ripped straight from a novel, a tale of heroes who became villains, of fire, and of an absolutely unbelievable betrayal. It's a scandal so deep it would burn an entire system down to the ground, only to forge a new one from the ashes. We're going to explore how a city's trust was shattered by the very people sworn to protect it. This is the Erie Arson Scandal of 1870. It's a chilling question, isn't it? One that the people of Erie, Pennsylvania had to face in the most terrifying way you can imagine. Just think about it for a second. The sound of the fire bell, a sound that should mean help is on the way, instead becomes a sign of absolute doom. When the very guardians of your city are the secret source of its destruction, who do you even call for help? Where do you turn? So, let's set the scene. The year is 1870. Erie is a busy port city on the Great Lakes, a real hub of industry. The future looks bright. But the city is built of wood and brick, with buildings all crammed together. It's a tinderbox just waiting for a spark. And night after night, that spark comes. The awful metallic clang of the fire bell echoes through the streets. Families run to their windows, hearts pounding, just to see that orange glow against the night sky. It became a horrifying routine. Fear wasn't just a feeling anymore. It was like a shadow stretching over every single street.
And let's be clear, this wasn't just a string of bad luck or a really dry season. Oh no. This was a sustained, calculated assault on the city itself. Erie was under siege. But the enemy wasn't some army at the gates. The threat was coming from within. It was invisible, it was sneaky, and it was terrifyingly effective. Every new fire was like another turn of the screw, tightening that grip of fear on everyone. Throughout that long, terrible year of 1870, things just went from bad to worse. What started as a worry became a full-blown crisis. We're not talking about one or two little suspicious fires. We're talking about a clear pattern. Fires were breaking out at all hours, in totally different neighborhoods, almost like they were on a schedule. This was not random. The timing, the frequency, it all screamed of a deliberate human hand at work. Public alarm was at a fever pitch, and paranoia started to creep into every corner of the city.
Okay, so let's dive into this a little deeper. To really understand the fires, we have to understand the firefighters. Who were these guys who were rushing into the flames? What was driving them? Well, the answer to that question is the key to this whole twisted mystery. See, back in the 19th century, fire protection in cities like Erie was all built on this really noble idea, civic duty. These weren't paid professionals. The men who volunteered their time, who risked their lives, they were your neighbors, the local shopkeepers, the dock workers, the clerks. The first company started way back in 1826, and by 1870, Erie had several of these independent companies protecting it. And being a member, that was a huge badge of honor. It gave you real social standing in the community. These firehouses were the heart of neighborhood life. But here's where it all gets complicated. You've got this noble ideal on one side, protecting your home, your neighbors, your city. But on the other side, something much darker was growing. With all these independent fire companies in one city, a fierce rivalry started to build. You have to imagine them racing through the streets, horse-drawn engines clattering over the cobblestones, not just to save a building, but to beat the other companies there. And slowly that goal shifted. It wasn't about putting out the fire anymore. It was about being the first to the fire, being the bravest crew, being the heroes everyone read about in the next day's papers. And right here, in just 5 simple words, we find the motive. It's so chilling. This wasn't about money or insurance fraud. It wasn't revenge. It was about ego. It was about glory. The ultimate prize in this twisted game was public adoration, gaining notoriety as the best. This need for recognition became an obsession, a poison that turned the idea of civic duty into something monstrous.
So, with the city just gripped by fear and the fires showing no sign of stopping, the story moves into its next phase, the investigation. This is where the mystery really starts to unravel, and it all builds to a shocking climax. City officials were at their wits' end. They knew they had to do something, and do it fast, to find whoever was terrorizing their citizens.
A formal investigation was launched. You can just picture the investigators sifting through the charred remains of homes and businesses. And it didn't take them long to confirm what everyone already feared in their hearts. This was arson. They found evidence of accelerants, of deliberate ignition points. These fires were not accidents. They were being set on purpose. The big questions now were deafening. Who was doing this, and why? The investigators must have been running through all the usual suspects. Was it a criminal gang trying to extort business owners, maybe sabotage from a rival town? They would have explored every logical possibility. But as the evidence piled up, it pointed away from any outside force. The truth wasn't just illogical, it was a complete nightmare. The call was coming from inside the house. And there it is, the unthinkable truth. The arsonists were the firefighters. Members of one of the volunteer companies, the very men who were cheered in the streets, the men sworn to protect the city, they were setting the fires themselves. They were literally manufacturing disasters, creating emergencies out of thin air, just so they could race to the scene, put out the flames that they themselves had lit, and be hailed as heroes. All of it just to gain that notoriety as the best. It was a betrayal of public trust on a level that is just sickening.
So, the secret is out. The betrayal is exposed. What happens now? How does a city, reeling from a shock like that, even begin to pick up the pieces and restore faith in anything? The city's response was swift, and it was severe. This wasn't going to be some slap on the wrist. Oh no. The guilty firefighters were sent to be tried in the courts of Erie and Terminer. Now you gotta understand what this meant. This was Pennsylvania's highest level of county criminal court, save for the absolute worst crimes. We're talking murder, treason, and, crucially, arson. By sending them to this court, the city was making a powerful statement. This wasn't just a crime against property. This was a capital offense against the entire community.
And the city's response was like a three-punch combo. Bam, bam, bam. First, justice. The arsonists were tried, found guilty, and sent to prison. Second, the radical cure. The city leaders realized it wasn't enough to just punish a few bad apples. The whole system was rotten. So they abolished it. The entire volunteer system with all its toxic rivalries was dismantled, gone. And third, a new beginning. With the old system in ruins, they immediately got to work establishing a professional, paid fire department in 1871.
And this is where the story takes its final powerful turn. The scandal could have broken the city, it could have shattered it. Instead, Erie used this crisis as a catalyst. The betrayal became the very fire that forged a new, stronger, and much more reliable system of public safety.
And check out how fast this all happened. It's incredible. In 1870, the scandal breaks. The city's in chaos. Just 1 year later, 1871, a professional, paid fire department is officially founded. And they didn't stop there. They started investing heavily. A new station goes up in 72, a brand new headquarters in 73. This was a massive citywide commitment to building a new system from the ground up, one based on professionalism, not pride. And boy, did it pay off.
And here it is, the ultimate legacy. Just 18 years after the scandal that brought the city to its knees, a city publication is bragging that the Erie Fire Department is one of the best organized, best disciplined, and most efficient fire departments in existence. Think about that. From a corrupt, broken system to a national model of professionalism in less than 2 decades. That's an incredible turnaround. The city didn't just recover, it excelled. It finally had the best, but this time it was earned through discipline and duty, not arson and ego.
The story of Erie in 1870 is such a powerful reminder that the institutions we rely on today were often born from these moments of profound crisis and failure. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What forgotten scandals or hidden betrayals shaped the bedrock of your own community, forging the quiet, reliable safety that we so often take for granted?